Professor Panda, wake up!
Wake
up!
What's going on here? Welcome, scholars. I'm Professor Panda, and you are in my laboratory. You and I will be exploring today. It seems I'm forgetting something. What is it? Oh, yeah. Scholars, today we are going to explore the ant and the grasshopper, a tale of hard work. Do you work hard, scholars? Today we're going to learn lessons and read stories about how hard work pays off. So, scholars, are you ready? Let's go! Summer had begun. Animals and insects scurried about, enjoying the summer sun.
Summer's here, the best time of the year.
The grasshopper sang.
Warm sun, lots of fun.
He added to his song. A line of ants marched past the grasshopper, carrying small seeds and bits of food. As they walked along, some crumbs fell to the ground. Before the ants could get them, the grasshopper had eaten the crumbs. The ants at the end of the line walked up to the grasshopper.
"We've worked very hard to gather this food,"
said the ants.
"You should have helped us pick up what we dropped."
"That's what's wrong with your summer song,"
the grasshopper said. Then he said,
"You're always working. Summertime is for play, not work."
"Summertime is for planting and gathering,"
said the ants.
"It's time for getting all the food we will need for the winter."
"Winter is far away. I think I'd rather go and play,"
said the grasshopper. He was about to hop off when the ants stopped him.
"Wait, what about the food you took from us?"
the ant asked.
"Oh yes, thank you."
The grasshopper pointed toward a field.
"And over there is a whole field of wheat to replace your crumbs. I like cornfields better myself, but that might be too far for you to walk."
And the grasshopper hopped off to the cornfield. The grasshopper quickly forgot about the ants and leaped onto a cornstalk. A soft leaf gave him a bed. Above him, another leaf gave him shade. And within reach, smaller, tender leaves gave him food. There was even an ear of fresh corn nearby.
"Those ants can gather and work and store. I'll just snooze right here and snore."
He fell fast asleep. Meanwhile, the ant lined the tunnels of his home with seeds and other foods.
When the snow is on the ground, we will be nice and warm in our nest. We will have plenty of food to eat and plenty of time to play,"
thought the ant. All that summer, the grasshopper watched the ants. When he saw them going to a picnic for crumbs, he hopped along to eat his fill. While they carried food back to their nest, he slept in his cornstalk bed. Then one day, the grasshopper heard a loud noise. The farmer was coming to harvest the corn. The grasshopper jumped into the grass. The grasshopper said,
"Close call, all in all,"
sang the grasshopper.
"I just lost my bed and food."
A line of ants was marching past and heard the grasshopper. The ants stopped.
"The days are getting shorter, my friend, but there's still time for you to store food and find a winter shelter."
The grasshopper thought about that for a second.
"Not today, I've got to play,"
he sang and hopped his way through the grass. When he found a toadstool, he said,
"This will put a roof over my head, so I'll just eat later instead."
The grasshopper had just fallen asleep when he heard a plop The next thing he knew, his toadstool had fallen over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chattered the squirrel above him.
My paws were so full of nuts that I dropped some.
You can have them if you like. The grasshopper hopped away.
No, thank you. I do not like nuts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
All throughout the fields and in the forests, he saw squirrels gathering nuts. They chattered to one another.
I found more. Have you heard? This winter is going to be snowy, and I have a bunch of nuts. But I want to be sure. It will be a long winter.
All this work was making it very hard to play and to sleep. In the hayfields, the grasshopper found a warm, sunny rock. He was just settling down when the ants began marching by again.
You again?
He said to the ant.
I thought by now you had enough. You can't eat all that stuff.
The ant smiled, but he did not stop to talk.
It's always better to have a little extra than not enough,
he called. The grasshopper frowned. The sun had moved and the rock was cold. In the distance, the farmer was cutting hay.
Does anybody here know how to play?
He asked aloud. He hopped off to the apple orchard. Most of the leaves were gone from the tree, but the grasshopper found a few small apples on the ground. He munched on them until he was full. Then he settled in for a nap near the root of the tree. The grasshopper shivered. He looked around for a sunny spot, but the sun was already gone from the sky.
Someone needs to tell the sun that its working day is not done,
he sang unhappily. The sun was one thing the grasshopper didn't mind seeing at work. With each day, though, it seemed to work less and less. The ground seemed colder, too. One day, when the grasshopper tried to nibble an apple, he found that it was frozen.
I don't like my apple in ice,
said the grasshopper. He was so chilly that it was hard to think for a second line to his rhyme.
Ice, nice, rice, mice.
The grasshopper tried to think of something nice.
A warm place with lots of rice,
he sang in a shivery voice. He didn't really like rice, but he was getting hungry. Then he thought,
maybe I'll visit my friends the mice.
The grasshopper crept into the home of the field mouse family. It was warm inside. There was no sign of rice, but the grasshopper was sure they would have something else nice.
Thank you for visiting, Mr. Grasshopper,
said Mother Mouse.
I would invite you to stay, but all my sisters and brothers are moving in for the winter. Isn't that nice? Oh, here they are now.
A crowd of mice rushed into the nest. It was nice to see them hugging each other, but the grasshopper wanted the kind of nice that meant he had a place to live and something to eat. He was out of luck at the mouse house. The grasshopper hopped back to the orchard. The ground was so cold that it hurt his tiny feet.
Where are those ants now that I need them?
Sang the grasshopper. Suddenly, snow began to fall. It covered the grasshopper with a jump. He fluttered his wings. He had to get inside or he would freeze. Hopping as fast as he could, the grasshopper raced to the ant's home. Is anybody home? He called as he stepped into the tunnels.
Why are you not out playing in the snow?
Asked the wise ant. The grasshopper wanted to say that he had just come by for a visit, but he could feel the cold wind on his back. Sadly, the grasshopper sang,
I should have listened to what you said. Now I'm cold and scared and unfed.
It wasn't his best song, but he hoped the ant would understand. The ant did understand, but he wanted to be sure that the grasshopper understood too.
We get our food for the winter by working hard. If you stay with us this winter, you'll have to work hard too.
The grasshopper gulped. What if it was a long winter, like the one squirrel said? But then he remembered the ice and snow.
Your job here will be to sing for us every day,
Then the ant laughed.
because winter is our time to play.
All that winter, the grasshopper sang for the ants and his huge family. And the next summer, the grasshopper sang a song as he helped to gather food.
Some work is slow and steady, but when winter comes, I'll be ready.
Hard work. The ants' hard work pays off when winter comes. The grasshopper, who plays all summer, has no food when the weather gets cold. The grasshopper sees the ants' work as no fun. The grasshopper soon learned that it is no fun to be cold and hungry either. Putting off things that you don't want to do is easy. After you play a game, playing another game without putting the first one away is easy. Nevertheless, when too many toys are out at once, they can get lost or broken. Putting away your toys after you play with them keeps them nice and ready for the next time you want to play. Now that's fun. Scholars, thank you for joining me on our storytime journey as we learned that hard work is always beneficial in the end. Don't forget, scholars, how you can help around the home, how you can work hard, how you can benefit in the long run. Thanks for watching. See you next time, scholars.
Thank you for watching. Remember, if you liked our videos, we loved exploring with you. Don't forget to visit our social media pages and subscribe to our videos to watch more from us. See you next time so we can explore and have more adventures.